Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a spatchcocked and dry brine chicken. We're going to do it on the Lonestar Grillz offset sitting here behind me. We're going to start it off kind of slow, let it get some good smoke on it, and then we're going to crank the temperature up to above 300 so we can crisp up the skin. Chicken is not normally my go-to, but spatchcocked and dry brined, I think it turns out great. So let's barbecue up some chicken, and thanks for joining. Okay, so we're going to get our fire lit in our Lonestar Grillz offset smoker. I decided to go without the fire management basket today. No special reason, I just sort of want to see how it differs not using the fire management. So I've got kind of a crisscross of oak splits in there, and I've got a couple of fire starters in between. So let's get her started. I'm going to use the grill gun. Alright, that should get her going. I actually had meant to open the top of the firebox too, just to get the fire going really well, so I'm going to do that now. And take the griddle plate out. Alright, so there we go. We're going to let this get started, and in the meantime we'll get our chicken out and get it ready to go too. So we'll bring you back. Okay, so we're going to get our dry brined and spatchcocked chicken ready for the smoker. I did do a video on spatchcocking and dry brining with this actual bird. You'll see it right before this video, and I'll put a link in the description to that, as well as a link in this video, maybe in the upper right hand corner or something like that right now. I'll give that a shot. I am just going to pat this dry a little bit, make sure that it is dry. And it's pretty good. So then we're just going to turn this skin side down for a moment. And I'm going to take off one of my gloves here. I'm going to use two different types of seasoning. For the underside on the meat, I'm going to use this It's Incredible. I'm really low on this, and I'll probably use the rest of it right now. I love this stuff. It provides great flavor for chicken. So we'll just open up that shaker and just give it a shake all over the inside. Now, I'm not going to go very heavy with either of the seasonings I'm using. And the biggest reason for that is this had a dry brine, so it was covered in salt for the last 20 hours in the refrigerator. So I want to make sure not to over season it. Neither of these seasonings that I'm using are super strong, but I definitely want to be careful. There we go. And now I use my gloved hand to pat this down a little bit. Let me see if I can get a little on the underside of some of these. There we go. And I am just about out. That's going to about kill this bottle. I'll have to order some more. I really do like it. So now we will flip this chicken over, try to do this one-handed. There we go. And now we're going to add a little Cajun seasoning to this. Holy Voodoo from Meat Church. I like this a lot too. And it's not overpowering. It's not super spicy. Again, I want to be careful with the salt content, so we're going to just do an even coat, not super heavy. Make sure we get all of those little spots under the wings. I did a Thanksgiving turkey spatchcocked like this, and it was the best turkey I have ever had. Turned out really nice. Maybe I'll add that to the description as well. I'll link to that. Here we go. I think that's going to be good enough. Try to get some of these spots, but generally I think I'm good. Again, I want to be careful not to over season. I intend to sauce this chicken too, so it's going to have plenty of opportunity to get some flavors. There, I really am calling this done right now. All right, so there's our chicken ready for the smoker. We're going to get this out to the Lonestar Grillz offset and let it get some smoke on it. So we'll see you outside. Okay, we're gonna get this bird on the smoker. Cooker is running right at 275, which is good. I don't even care if it falls off a little bit. I'm gonna get that fire going a little hotter, probably about halfway through the cook so we can crisp this skin up. But let's get this thing on. Man, these Lonestar grills are well built. That lid is heavy. I love this thing. So we're just gonna pull out the top rack. And I'm going to put this on so the dark meat is towards the fire. I'm going to kind of go the center of the rack, but I'm going to put the breast away from the fire. And I just burned myself. I forgot I didn't have a cloth glove under my left hand, but not the first or the last time, I'm sure. So we're going to shut this lid down and let this thing go. We'll check back probably in the next 30-45 minutes, something like that. So we'll bring you back. Okay, the cooker's running right at 275. It's been really steady there, which is good. I'm probably going to stoke up the flame a little bit here in a few minutes. The internal temperature to the chicken is about 125, and it has been just about an hour. Okay, so it's looking really good. Skin is starting to firm up a little bit. Very happy with that. Okay, I'm not going to mess with it. Looking good. Happy with this cook. So we're going to come back in a few minutes. I'm actually going to use a little spray butter and coat on the outside. It'll help that skin crisp up as I increase the temperature of the cooker. So we'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, we're nearing 140 degrees internal, so I'm going to do a couple of things. By the way, I did, right after I put the chicken on, I had stopped the video, but I had forgotten to hook up my ThermalWorks signals. So I've got the probe in the chicken. That's how I'm monitoring the internal temperature. I am going to open up the door. Oh man, that's looking good. Ooh, chicken is crisping up. Looks really good. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to use a little Pam spray. This is butter. Help protect that skin a little bit and help it crisp up. And I'm going to check the accuracy of my ThermalWorks and just make the ThermalWorks is accurate, but I just want to make sure it's in a good spot. So I'm going to check another spot or two. That's a little closer to 150, 153, 150, and 136. $140. I'm actually a little surprised that this side seems to be cooking faster, so what I'm going to do is pull the probe out, and I'm going to get a spatula under this chicken and just give this a turn. There we go. Man, this smells outstanding. There we go. And then get the probe back in. Gonna go in the deep part of that smaller breast this time. And get the lid closed. So we'll keep monitoring the temperature. I am going to start cranking up the heat a little bit to crisp that skin up. And I've got some sauce ready to go. I love barbecue sauce on chicken, on ribs, on a lot of stuff actually. So thanks for joining. We'll bring you back. Okay, we're just a couple of degrees away from the temperature I'm looking for. So we're going to take a look here and, oh gosh, that's gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this thermometer out. We're close enough that I'm not concerned about temperature. And I'm just going to baste this with some sauce. I don't want to go overboard, but I like a little sauce on my barbecue chicken and ribs. And I happen to have half a bottle. This is Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, the barbecue sauce. Actually, I think it's the vinegar version. I like them both. So just add a little bit there. This thing is looking really pretty. Okay, gonna be good enough. We're gonna get this closed up, let that smoker come back up to temperature and set that sauce, and then we'll pull this off and bring you back. Okay, this chicken is done. It has been an hour and 55 minutes total. Running the cooker at 275-ish until about the last half hour, then it was about 325-ish, give or take. I did spin this chicken after I sauced it and I turned the camera off, but I decided I wanted to turn it. I don't know how easy this is going to be to show. Hope you can see that on the camera. No idea if you can, but we're going to get this on the cutting board. It's making a giant mess. There we go. We will see you inside. Okay, so we've let our chicken rest. Just to recap, we spatchcocked and dry brined this chicken overnight, probably about 20 hours. There's a separate video showing you how to do that, just a real short one. It's not difficult at all if you have the right tools. Then we pulled it out today, added on the underside a little It's Incredible by Heaven Made Products, and on the top side we added a little Holy Voodoo from Meat Church. We smoked it around 275 on the Lonestar Grillz offset smoker using oak wood splits. And about the last half hour we stoked the fire, added another log or two, and got it up to about 325 for the last 30 minutes. And for about 10 or 15 minutes at the end, we basted it with some barbecue sauce and let it set. And now it's rested for about 15 minutes, so let's cut into her. So I'm just going to cut it down the center, and after you spatchcock it and remove that keel bone, one of the reasons I removed that keel bone is because you can just cut it in half super easily. So just each side its own piece, and then you can sort of carve it however you want. I like to remove the thigh and the leg quarter, and that's really easy to do too. So there's a nice thigh and leg quarter. I'll do the other side the same way. Here we go. And then you can, the wings can be a little more difficult, but you can just sort of disengage them. That bone came right out. That's how tender that is. Just start grabbing some of the meat off there. And now I like to cut the breast totally off. the bone. Here's that, they call the oyster, which is a great piece right there. And then I like to cut that breast into slices, and that way you're cutting across the grain, and they're really a lot more tender like that as opposed to slicing it from the outside down. So there we go. I won't bother doing the other side right now. And there's still, by the way, plenty of meat on this breast. I didn't do a great job trimming that off, but you can just pull that off. Makes for some great meat. Just set it down in the juices on the board here. And so let me pull my glove off here. We'll get creative with the camera. There we go. I'm donning the Reds hat in spite of all of the ridiculous trades and players they've had let go this spring, but who knows? Maybe they'll do well. You really can't beat doing a chicken like this. That meat is so tender and soft. That's a big thick hunk of that breast meat, which is not even my favorite part of the bird. So definitely give this a try sometime. Thanks for joining me here today at BuQeye Barbecue, and we will see you next time.